Hello, Quantum Darkness here. Well, I'm ready to do some in-betweening, and I'm right here on frame 1, and I'm going to start at the beginning. And it just so happens that this beginning sequence is the most complicated part to do in-betweening in the whole animation. But on the other hand, I'm hoping it's the most interesting. Now, originally I was just going to maybe do some time lapse or something like that. But since this is a little bit complicated, I figure there's probably, even though I don't have a lot of experience, there's probably a lot of people who have even less and would like to know how to do this. And first, let me tell you why it's complicated. You see, he's walking toward the camera, and I know that looks a little weird because I've had a little bit of corruption here, but I'm not going to worry about that since I'm going to have to redo this stuff anyway. I've got it backed up, but and there's a way you can put those pictures back in here, but I'm going to be just redoing them anyway, so I'm not worried about that. So why is it complicated? Well, for one thing, he's walking, so that's a walk cycle over there. I don't have a lot of experience with walk cycles. The other thing is he's walking toward the camera, which means that as he gets, he's not walking directly toward the camera, but he's still getting closer, and that means he's going to get larger perspective-wise. So those two things add up and to something that can be a little confusing. On the bright side, though, if I go down here to the camera layer, and we'll look at the way I've got the shot framed. I'm not showing his feet, and I'm going to move him around a little bit, but that's still going to be the case. So when I'm doing this walk cycle, I'm not going to have to worry about getting his feet right and all that stuff. But basically, what I'm worried about here is how his head bobs up and down when he walks. So let me go back up to this layer here, there, get off the camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use stick figures. So I went in and I drew a stick figure over the character, which is kind of funny because when I originally did this, I started with stick figures and I drew a character around them. And things changed a little bit, so I can't use those original stickmen. So I'm doing it. I'm doing a little reverse engineering here, and I just made a stick figure for each character. And this is where things start going a little wonky here. It's the stick figures that are actually correct, not the character. So let's just get rid of the character and look at the stick figures. And that's part of a walk cycle. The walk cycle, I don't know too much about it, but I went and I just found a website on walk cycle. It's almost the first one I found on Google. Called I believe it's done by somebody who calls himself the Angry Animator. He does a lot of tutorials, and I'll put the address for that website in the description of this video. Now, as it works out, those two complicated things kind of help each other out, and I'll show you what I mean here. This position here is what the Angry Animator, he called that the contact position. I don't know if that's an industry term or not. But I kind of assume it is. That's where you have both feet are on the ground. One you're just about to step off to, and the other one you're about to step onto. And that's with the legs in the opposite position, which looks a little strange because we're looking at him at an angle here. But if you'll notice, if you look at where this front foot is, that foot is going to stay in about that same position. Let me move him around a little bit. Let me move him like right over the 24 right here. Now, as I go to the next one, you see this left foot. It stays in that position while his other foot goes in front of it. So that means when you're doing the walk cycle, there's no guessing about where the feet go. The feet always determine where the character's walking. As a matter of fact, when I did my first walk cycle of this, there's a little sidewalk that he's on, and the character walked right off the sidewalk, and I realized he was facing at a little bit the wrong angle. So the walk cycle determines where the character goes, and as he goes, as you do that, as you draw it, he actually kind of goes down a little bit. But since he's going toward the camera, he's got to get bigger. But that actually turns out that that's pretty easy to figure out. And I'll turn this little line on here. Now that's the eye line. Now if you've done stuff in perspective before, you know that, like, if your eyes are 6 feet off the ground, every place, and you look out toward the horizon and you're on flat ground, everything that crosses the horizon is going to cross the horizon at the 6 foot level. So if you see like a stop sign 300 yards away, it's going to cross, the horizon is going to cross that stop sign right where 6 feet would be. Well, the same thing applies here. He's going to be coming toward the camera. He's going to be getting bigger perspective-wise, but his eyes are going to stay on the same level. And those two things work out to make it kind of easy to figure out where everything is going to be, because the feet tell you where they need to go, and the eye line tells you where his head needs to be. So you know where the feet are and where the head is. Then you know how much bigger he needs to get in order to get the feet and the head where they're supposed to be. So I've got to add some more walk cycles here, because it's not till frame 30 where the devil yells out his name. So he's got to keep walking until frame 30. He's got another half step at least to take. So this is at frame 20. Every 7 frames he's going to go to another contact position. So at frame 27, I'm going to add a keyframe there. I'm going to go back. Whoops, not this one. He's got to have his legs facing in the other direction there. It's okay. So I got to get this position. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go to back to 27 and put that in. I'll turn the onion skin on. And I'll move him into the correct position. And that's his back foot has to go where the front foot of the other frame is. So as this foot completes its fall, this is his toe here, which is kind of scrunched up against the ground there. As this foot completes its fall, it's going to be right there, and that tells you where he's got to go. And as you can see, his eyes have got line, and he's not there. So if I could get him, if I could pull this up at a 45-degree angle, it should uniformly make him larger. That's something I've actually had a little trouble with. So I'm going to try to do that. And his foot gets off a little bit there, so I'll go put that back. And that looks about right. They look about the same height, though. Let's see how it looks. I turn the onion skin off. See how it looks from a walking perspective there. Yeah, I think that's about right. Okay, he'll have to come to a stop at 30. Well, no, actually, he hears it at 30, and then he'll come to a stop a couple of frames later. So I'll worry about that later. Right now, I'll just do all the in-betweening, and I'll do all of that in time delay. So let me get all these stick figures done. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to say was mainly what I'm worried about here is the arms and the head going up and down as he walks. One part of the walk, he goes down into a recoil and then he steps up. So I'm just got to get those in the right places. And like I said, the legs are all going to be off camera, so I'm not going to worry about those too much. But I am going to kind of generally throw them in where I think they're supposed to be. So I'll stop recording now, and then when I come back, I'll do some time lapse, and we'll see how it goes. Hello, I'm back. In the interim time, I was started doing some in-betweening, and I closed down the software to take a break, and it crashed. So I lost all of the video I did, which, as you can see, I didn't really get that much done. So I'll just continue on. I'll show you this though. I made these guidelines. There's frame 1. And there's frame 7, so if you draw a line from frame 1 to frame 7, you get this kind of cone effect. That's how much he's getting bigger perspective-wise as he comes toward the camera. And I divided those up into equal segments, and I'm just using that to show me where he should be for each frame in between there, and we'll see how that works out. I drew a couple of circles for where his left hand starts and ends, and where his right hand starts and ends. Some guidelines for the feet. So maybe that'll help me out a little bit as I continue to do this. Okay, well, I'm going to shut down now, and hope everything works. I'm going to make another attempt at doing the in-betweening, and we'll see how everything goes. Okay, well, I jumped ahead and I did the walk and the in-betweening for the rest of the frames in this cycle. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, I'll loop that a few times. It looks like he's going a little fast to me, but it's hard to tell. When I sync it up with the sound and all of that stuff and put that together, it might look a lot better. I'm just going to assume that the speed is okay now, and what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll fix his hands the way they're supposed to be, and also I think you can see his arms aren't really swinging correctly, because to be honest, when I was doing the stickman figures, I was just interpolating between the frames, and I really wasn't paying much attention to whether they were swinging correctly or not. So I'll take a little bit more care with that. I'll get those things straightened out, and then what I'll do is I'll go to the main layer, and I'll just trace over what I've got on the animatic layer, and that'll give me some opportunity to do any other changes that I want to happen while he's walking. So that's it for this week, and next week I'll probably do some more in-betweening. Well, I guess I'm going to be doing a lot of in-betweening, and hopefully the other scenes should go a little faster, because they're a little less complicated than this, and we'll see what happens. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.